Hello my beautiful and amazing crafters. Welcome to another video of Crafting with Shaneda. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to upload my dome box design into Cricut Design Space, design it, and cut it and assemble. So once you upload the file into Cricut Design Space or Silhouette Studio, you will see that I have created a front and back version for the dome holder. Personally for me, just to make it easier to get everything sized, I'm going to go ahead and just delete one of the sets, and that way I can start designing my file, and then I'll duplicate it once I'm done with the way it looks. So I include the size for you as well. So all you have to do is just click on the file, the design itself, go to unlock the dimensions, and then enter the sizing that I have listed. Then go ahead and lock it back, and then you can remove the dimensions, sizing, and just make sure to save your file. You're going to do the same thing for the holder itself. Click on the file, go to your layers panel, and we're going to hide the score line for just right now till we could get the sizing. Go ahead and click on the design, unlock it, and enter the measurements that I provided. Go back and unhide the score line. Right now it's a basic cut, so we'll go ahead and unhide it. Go to your operations panel and we'll choose score, select everything, and then click attach. And the reason why we do that is because with the score line, it's going to give you a different sizing dimension. So I want to make sure everything works out perfectly. So just hiding that score line and just making sure that you use the dimensions I provided, the sizing I provided, will make this come out perfect. Now that that's all sized, it's time to go ahead and get ready to personalize this dome holder. And for today, I'm going to go into Canva, and I'm going to choose some elements from Canva and upload it into Cricut Design Space. So I went into Canva and I just typed in Valentine patterns, and I saw this really cute 3D puff looking heart pattern, and I thought that would look really good. So I'm just going to use this as a background for the first layer of the holder. And all I'm going to do is just resize this design so it can just fit on this complete page. And then I'll bring this in to Cricut Design Space as a pattern to use for my design. I like the way that looks. So now I want to find some little elements that I can use to give that 3D look. And I'm just going to go back into the elements and just search for Valentine designs that I can use and that looks well with. Now that I'm happy with everything, I'm going to go ahead and save the actual pattern design by itself so I can upload that into Cricut Design Space as a pattern. And then the elements that I'll use to pop out, I'll save that as a PNG with a transparent background. I'm going to start with the first layer, and I'm going to change it from a cut to a print and cut, so that way I can choose that background that I made earlier in Canva. And if you want to know how to upload a pattern into Cricut Design Space, let me know in the description box below and I will create a video just for that. Here I'm going to just use my edit tool just to edit the background to the way I like it. And then once I'm happy, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the elements that I plan to use to pop out. So to separate these three designs that I uploaded, I'm just going to go to my shapes panel and bring in a shape so that way I can select everything and just slice them out. And I'll only have to do this twice because by the time I do it the second time, the third element will now be its own separate image. And then I'll just create an offset around each of them and get ready to finalize my design. So now that I have the offset and I'm happy with everything, I'm going to go ahead and send this to print and cut. And before I do that, I'm just going to, you can duplicate it from this point here, or when you go to send it to your mat, you can make a second copy. And just depending on how many times you want to print out the elements to pop out, I like to have at least 2 to 3 of my pop out layer and then just a basic solid offset behind it, but it's just your own personal preference. So I'm going to size everything, make a couple duplicates of what I want to have print out twice, and then send it to cut. I noticed that Cricut Design Space wanted me to print out 3 pages, but I have these 4 little bows that I decided that I could kind of place them in the extra space in the dome. So I'm just going to move them to that page just to save on paper and time. And that way I only have to use 2 pages to print and cut instead of 3. And that's a great new feature that Cricut Design Space has. You can move elements around if you see that they'll be useful on another page. Now that I'm happy with everything, it's time to go ahead and print this out and cut it out and get ready to assemble the dome holders. So now I have everything cut out and I'm ready to start assembling the dome holders. Before I get started, there are a few items that you will need in order to complete this project. You would need your favorite craft glue, something that preferably dries clear. I'll have a list of my favorite glues listed in the description box below. You will need a hot glue gun to adhere the bottom bases together so that way they're nice and sturdy. You could use glue, but I'm going to use hot glue for that extra reinforcement. And this is a must-have. The way I created my template, it doesn't have the holes like most of the traditional dome holders where you can tie it with a piece of ribbon. My templates were designed to have a snap close, either a Velcro closure or a magnet strip closure. So this is a must to complete the project. You can find these items at your local Walmart. I'm not 100% sure Target, but I believe Target, your craft store, and for sure the Dollar Tree. I purchased these at the Dollar Tree. I have seen magnet strips here and there at the Dollar Tree, but I purchased this at my local Walmart. So this is a must to seal the top of the dome holders. Now I've already made 2 with the Velcro, and today I'm going to assemble and I'm going to use the magnetic strips. because I just want to give that option. With the Velcro, it just, because of the circle, try to zoom in here. You could kind of see it, and you could trim it down if you would like to have a nice clean look. But I think the strips will work out better. I was able to find these magnetic strips at my local Walmart. They were $1. I think they were 98 cents. So I picked up 2 packs, and they come in a pack of 18. If I can find a link, of course, I'll list it as well. But with these strips, the one thing I like about them is that they're easy to cut with a pair of scissors. So they come with adhesive on one side, and they're very easy to break. You break them apart, and then you can cut them smaller if you wish with a pair of scissors, and that way you could have that magnetic hold. When using either the magnetic strips or the Velcro, you want to make sure you adhere it with the hot glue, not just regular glue or just the adhesive tape by itself. So that way the individual that receives the dome, when they go to open this, it doesn't just tear up on them. So for the Velcro, I put a little bit of hot glue first, then added my Velcro. And I'll show you that when I go to assemble. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you get the file, you will need the magnet strip or a piece of Velcro strip to seal the dome. So I'm gonna start by gluing down the design to the actual template. And then once it's glued down, I'm gonna go ahead and add my dimensions and my elements using some foam dots. Now that that is all glued down, now I'm gonna add the outer border that I cut out with my gold cardstock. Art design, I use glossy photo paper, glossy cardstock, excuse me, and I will have the link of all the items that I use in this video in the description box below. I'm gonna let this finish drying, and this is now the front and back of the dome using the score lines. And then using hot glue, I would add some hot glue at the bottom so I can secure the bottom, and then add my Velcro on top. But before I do that, I'm going to insert my cup so that way I have the proper width before putting everything together. And we'll get to that in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and put my elements together that I cut out. The designs I cut out, and I got these designs from Canva because this will be for my personal use. I'm just gonna put everything together using my foam dots. Little bear, I should have made a bigger offset. Thought about it at the time when I made this offset. I should have made a bigger offset because it did tear away at the strings of the balloon. So I went ahead and just removed them from the other little elements. And I'll draw it by hand. If I was, of course, giving this to a client or as a gift, I would redo it. But since this is just for tutorial purposes, I'm just gonna leave it as is. But that's just a good note. Whenever I pick a design, or whenever you choose a design that has really thin lines like this, I would suggest making a nice good size offset to avoid this from happening. But we're gonna keep pushing on. And this is what I mentioned, because the inner portion of the cup, I had that extra space. I added the bows there just to save on cardstock and a little bit of time. So I'm gonna put all of these together with foam dots, and I will be back. Okay, all the elements have been added on, and I just end up just working with the little bear, even with that little flaw. And now I'm getting ready to add the magnet strip to the top. the top. And if I decided I wanted just to have the bear on the front of the design, the front of the box, instead of doing front and back. But if you wanted your design to be on the front and the back of your dome holder, cup holder, you want to make sure, just like this design here, that you flip your design. So here's the front, and then when I went to cut out this design, these elements, I flipped them. So that way it lines up in the back. Let me get you a better look. So that way, as you can see, they line up on each side. So if you want it front and back, just flip your pop-outs that you're going to use. Otherwise, for this one, I just want it in the front. And then I love you, I didn't flip it, but it worked when I placed it on the other side. So now it's time to add the magnet strips. So with the width, I had cut these earlier, but this actually fits perfectly well. So I'm going to just get another strip. And just cut it down. Doesn't have to be this wide, but I'm just gonna cut it right there. I'm going to remove the adhesive backing, put some hot glue, and then place it on the dome cup holder. And that's just to give it some extra security, and I would do the same thing if I was going to use the Velcro. Now before I sealed this onto the other side, let's go ahead and glue the two sides together. I'm going to grab my cup so that way I could have the proper width. And again, these are for a 12-ounce dome lid cup. I will have the link of this exact cup that I'm using today. I am going to make another template for a 9-ounce cup, but right now I just have the 12-ounce cup template available. About an inch. Less than an inch would work. All right, that looks good. And now all I have to do is just remove the backing, add some hot glue so I can seal this shut. Let me fix the lighting, I'll be right back. All right, and now I like it with the magnet. I think the magnet gives it a really nice smooth closure versus the Velcro, but they both work well. The magnet is nice, but I think the Velcro gives it a more secure hold. So I would go with the Velcro, but the magnet is a nice touch as well. So now all you have to do is just add your candy or goodies in the dome cup, and this is ready to go. So I prefer the Velcro. I think it gives it a better sturdy tight hold with the 12-ounce cup, but I wanted to try something really quick, so I went and grabbed one of my 9-ounce cups just to see if it was more secure. And if you wanted to use the magnet really works well with a smaller cup. I still will make a design for a 9-ounce, but if you wanted to get this and use a 9-ounce cup with the Velcro or magnetic strip, that will work as well. I think they both look great. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned a little bit or a lot. These came out so amazing, and you know I'm gonna have a lot of videos coming out with some more designs. And I cannot wait to see you on the next video of Crafting with Shaneda. Happy crafting!